and welcome to the show. My name is Markus Karlsson. Today we're out in the open and we're braving the elements, if you will, at an annual forum organized by the main business lobby here in France, the MEDEF. The MEDEF has a membership of more than 700,000 companies, and many of them are represented here at this forum. Also here, of course, is the president of the MEDEF, Laurence Parisot, and she joins me here. Welcome to the program.
Hello, Markus. Thank you.
Let me start with this. We've seen 3 quarters of zero growth here in France. How are French companies doing? How are your members doing at this stage?
Oh, we are very worried. The situation is really bad. First of all, the crisis of the Eurozone is very serious, and it creates a level of uncertainty which, of course, put the companies in a very difficult situation. I mean, investment are postponed, many projects are now stopped. So this is a major concern, and more than that, we have some very specific French difficulties because we have some structural reforms to implement, and we don't know yet if they're going to be decided by the government. So we have major expectations, and we are waiting for the government to decide what will be his strategy in terms of economic policy.
I want to return to the structural reforms in a moment, but I want to ask you this first. I mean, we were here having this conversation around about a year ago, and at that point you said that we were probably not heading for a recession. Things have changed now. What happened? What turned around throughout the year?
2 things. First, the Eurozone crisis, as I told you. And the second thing is, of course, we had some presidential election. Everybody knows that. And during the campaign, everything was stopped. No major decision was taken. And since François Hollande has been elected, we had some decisions just before the vacation, the summer vacation. Some decisions were not very pro-business. And now we are expecting one major decision, which will be the budget for next year. And I think that the government will deliver the budget at the end of September. And at that time, we will see exactly what is the direction of the government in terms of economic policy. Meanwhile, that means that we lost momentum, and that's why everybody is in expectation.
What are you making of the policies of François Hollande so far and his government? I know that the Prime Minister has been speaking here at this forum. He caught some flack from that, from his own left wing, because a lot of people accused him of pandering to business. It seems as if there are some pro-business policies there after all.
There is a pro-business speech, but we need not only words, we need actions, we need decisions, we need measures, and first of all, we need some measures which tackle the competitiveness issue. We have some major competitiveness problems in terms of cost, and not only in terms of cost, but also in terms of non-cost competitiveness. So we are asking the government, first of all, not to increase taxes paid by companies. This is the first point. But we need also, and we ask the government to encourage reforms in terms of flexibility. You know, the labor market in France is very rigid, and that means that in this difficult economic situation we are not able to adapt our companies as quick as we would like to do it. So this is the 2 kind of issues we have to, we are waiting some answers from the government on these 2 issues.
And when it comes to labour costs, you've said that that is your number 1 preoccupation at the moment. You've been saying that for years, though. Why is it a certain problem at this stage?
Okay, you're right that we are saying that for years, but uh, I think we were right from the beginning. And if the situation is worsening, this is because we have not been heard at the beginning. So I hope that the government will hear what we are saying before the situation become too dramatic. I mean, what I'm trying to explain to our government is we have still a little time in front of us to adjust, to conduct this reform. Look at what happened in Italy or in Spain. They had to conduct the reforms at the time when they were almost falling apart. So we have still time in France, but not too much time to react.
When you say we still have a little time, how much time are we talking about? 6 months? A year?
It's quite difficult to say. Maybe it's 1 year or something like that. But there is two agenda. There is the French agenda with this structural reform, but there is also the European agenda. And in the European agenda, France is key. If France falls apart, all Europe falls apart. So we have also a responsibility not only towards our country and the French people, but also towards the other European countries.
Speaking of the Eurozone crisis, how confident are you that French politicians and Eurozone politicians will be able to resolve it, or at least to make progress in this crisis?
I'm pretty confident, because there is one thing I'm sure, which is that all European decision makers, all European governments, and all economic leaders really want to keep the euro, the single currency. I mean, there is no doubt about that. There is a very strong will.
But is that will going to be enough? After all, you need action as well.
You're right, the will is not enough, but this is also necessary. So this is the first thing. The second thing is to encourage the politicians to explain to the public opinion that with the euro we made much more things than before without the euro. And we, the business people, we are able to explain that. I mean, we are able to explain that the growth of our companies were much bigger since we have the euro than before. But the politicians do not dare. I mean, there is a lack of, maybe a lack of vision, but also a lack of courage. Mm-hmm. So I hope that at the end they will be able to express a clear vision about Europe.
There is a lot of talk, though, within Europe that there is a real need for more integration within the Eurozone in order to harmonize fiscal policies, for instance. You have said that a United States of Europe is no longer a utopia. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean that today there is one federal institution in Europe, which is the ECB. And the ECB is doing a great job. And Mario Draghi is just great. But the problem is that we have this only this institution, which is federal. So we need some other federal institution. We need a Minister of Finance. We need a European Treasury. And we need, of course, to deepen the governance, the political governance, and the democracy in Europe. That's what I mean. And I think that Mrs. Merkel has the same kind of vision. And I would like that our French government answers and says yes to Mrs. Merkel when she says, okay, let's prepare a new treaty. Let's improve the political governance. We need that. We need that badly.
So it sounds as if you're slightly hesitant whether or not there is that willingness in France to come up with more integration within the Eurozone?
Oh, I'm sure that President François Hollande is a very European leader, Prime Minister also, but they have to manage their majority, which is quite divided on that issue.
Just very briefly here towards the end, what is the message that you are giving to your member companies at this forum? What are you telling them? For instance, when will it get better?
We will get better when, as we said, the European crisis will be solved. So the first message is let's be European and let's try to convince everyone around us that it could be a nice, very great and nice project to be more and more European. But the other message is we are very strong on our positions and we don't want to change our positions. But on the other hand, we want to work with the government and work with the unions. So this is a message of let's try to work together to improve everyone, and this is time for solidarity. This is time for a clear unity movement.
All right, with that upbeat message, we're going to have to wrap up this interview. Laurence Parisot, thanks very much indeed for braving the elements. We've had some sprinkles throughout this interview, but almost symbolically, the sun is now coming out. Laurence Parisot, thanks once again.
Thank you very much.
And with that, we're going to wrap up the program. Thanks for watching France 24.